Okay, so right, I was having all the issues that I'm saying, like plus more. It was like every single day, my pay is not right. There was always an issue. I'm constantly having to watch my back because everything, like, and then once I realized this chick was like setting me up, it was the same thing too. Like, I'm pretty sure whatever compliments I would get, I had never received any of them. But anything negative, I would receive. Like, I was asking, I'm not used to babies. I don't have babies. What do you want from me? As a teacher, but for about 3 years, I was a preschool teacher for 3-year-olds going to 4-year-olds, right? So in that profession or any profession, if you don't know something, I have no problem saying to somebody, like, I'm not familiarized with something, right? So I had this little baby. And they start throwing babies because I said, I'm not used to babies. I really don't want to like have babies. I prefer my age group. But they threw me in with a range from like 10 years because they were just using me. They were throwing me in as needed. And then I would like come up with ideas and be like, oh, I want to do this with the kids. I want to do that. And you could look through like all like my posts when I'm being very polite, and you could see how polite I asked and waited. I waited for my money. That's the thing that gets me. I was so polite to this woman and waited for her bullshit. She was like, she gave me the runaround hoping that I would forget about my money. I'd be like, where's my weekend hours? Where's this? Where's that? Hey, but very polite. And you could look back because I posted all our conversations. And this is why I'm posting all our conversations, because if she doesn't have my money on Tuesday, you best believe I'm filing a wage complaint form and taking you. Oh, girl, you got so much coming towards you, because chances are, being that you work for Warner Brothers and you're like corporate, you got no soul, bitch. You got no soul. You must have sucked something or stepped on somebody to get to where you got. And chances are, well, you're divorced, right? Chances are you just got some extra money and squandered it on whatever, because you are not a good person. You just pretend. You're a covert narcissist that has somebody employed. The only reason you have that girl employed, and that's what's sad about it, is so that you could swoop in and look like the hero, because you're a narcissist. You want to look best. That's why you fired Annie in the first place, because Annie talked back to you. Somebody that you had history with, you couldn't even sit and communicate with. That says a lot. And see, what turned me on to further investigate you was the fact that she started talking about you saying she was going to be blacklisted. Now, I've never heard anybody fucking talk about being blacklisted in the preschool setting, ever, right? And then I start investigating, and they're like, oh, we known each other for years, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we have strikes on our marks, blah, 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 blah. So I start looking, and I'm like, oh, she's a corporate Warner Brother, like from Warner Brothers, and the one teacher's a makeup artist. Like I said, it all sounds scammy to me. But like the whole thing just felt Twilight Zone-ish, because I'm like, if anybody knows me and you've worked with me before, and it hasn't been to where this point of my life where I was gang stalked and set up and my whole life turned upside down all because of a crooked freaking cop, you know my work ethic. You know my style. So, you know it's hard to get me when I'm working like that. It has to be stuff that's made up. And that's exactly what it was. Like the last week, it was just like more and more annoying, and something I couldn't go in. I couldn't bring myself to come in, because Tuesday, I was sick to my stomach because of this, because I felt like I'm being set up, and I was being set up. Like I said, it's not my first rodeo. I'm old enough to know that this has happened before, you know? And I'm like, all right, so I'm well aware that I'm being set up. So then, like I said, everything, Tuesday it was, yeah, early in the morning, like 6 something in the morning, because they were looking for everything. Over the weekend, they were looking to set me up too, because as soon as they posted in the group chat that I was supposed to be working, like something about my hours, that I was supposed to be working Sunday night or whatever, but it had switched and I didn't close. And the other girl that had been causing problems for me, that seemed like a setup, she closed, and nobody posted about it in the group chat. It was outside of it, right? So I come in, so the next morning I'm woken up by the director taking pictures of a table, right? Now these tables have crevices in them, and if you don't, you would have to take something really skinny, like a pipe cleaner of some sort, and clean it out. They're not even properly cleaning the floor. So do you think they're going to clean that? No. Right? No. So you're supposed to clean out the floor, right? Not the floor. You can clean that out, right? So she takes it. So if you take the table and pull it up and let it fall, the crumbs come like all out, right? So this bitch thinks she's slick, right? Thinks I closed, right? And because I complained like the weeks before about cleanliness and sanitation, and I was mad because, like I said, I have every right to be mad. Isolation precautions, this, that, the other thing. Like, we just went through a pandemic, which, whether it was real or not, who gives a fuck? But even still, like, infection control is necessary. It's just, you have to clean and you have to sanitize properly. Right. So anyway, so the table, right? So she's like, oh my God. She's like, it's dirty. Now we have ants. And the boss goes, just, Lindsay, you and Kim just take it outside and spray it down. You know why? Because it wasn't me that closed. It was the other chick that supposedly the state told this lady that she's not allowed to be working with children, yet still she has a job. Go figure. Doesn't do her job. Doesn't do this, that, or the other thing. You know why? Because she's not a threat. So she still has her job, because a narcissist will keep somebody like that around that's not doing their job because they make them look better. They make them look better. You see, you morons, she's basically playing you. And you're sitting there, you're like, this is the thing. The narcissist always has cronies like that. Somebody who's less than, that wants to be greater than, riding somebody's coattails. And she feeds you, feed your ego. Instead of you working on yourself and just separating and going somewhere else and whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat, honey. Whatever works for you, whatever gets you off at night. But anyway, right? So they thought that. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going on, right? Like I said, I went to work the one day. I showed up. They called me after 6 o'clock. I go to work, try to use my key fob. The key fob works, but they locked the door on me. This is after they cut my hours, right? So now I'm crying hysterically outside because I know what's going on. And I'm like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt more than anything, because I've been through this so many times and I thought these were people once. And that's where you're going to go so wrong, and God's going to punish you so bad. God's going to punish you so bad because I had good intentions for you. You don't understand that. You don't understand the extent of what you did, and you welcomed it on yourself. You brought the karma on yourself. So whatever you get is what you deserve. Have the day you deserve. Have the life you deserve. If your shit crumbles, bitch, you threw the stone. You threw the stone from a glass house. You threw the stone. You threw the first stone. Yeah, so then that morning, I woke up on Tuesday morning, and again, the same thing. Somebody had packed the baby's bottle into somebody else's bottle, and the parent gave it to me. And I was like, oh, here, this is somebody else's bottle. So somebody else did that. So now the next morning, they're like, oh, this bottle's missing, blah, 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 blah. So, and I know where the bottle is. I'm like, oh, I put it up in the corner. So the one girl goes to answer. She goes, oh my God, I found the second bottle in the crib full of milk. So I start getting talking to, well, not directly, because we're going to do that passive aggressive shit where we're going to say stuff directed towards somebody that we know is specifically towards somebody, but it's going to be like, ladies, we shouldn't do this. How stupid do you think people are? Like, really, make it make sense.